right, we're underway. So
All
actually,
right.
I had the wrong episode last week. This is actually episode 4 of our new renamed Chocolate and Pants over Winnebago. Just Mike and I tonight. Jim's out of service, and doesn't have to work tomorrow. I'll just leave it at that. So that means he's going to get ripped. And we did get a brief visit from Jason Scherer again. I don't want to. If he just did so, he's out drinking because he doesn't have to work
Yes,
tomorrow,
correct.
and so whatever he used, how is his name on that? Not it's his phone. He just sent the video of him. And of course, the microphone didn't work. And how is that not?
That is classic, by the way. That again, the audio doesn't work. That is something. That's impressive.
He's probably arm wrestling Michelle Obama.
Yeah, good one.
By the
Yes.
way, I'll let people know what I'm talking about on that one. I won't even ask for his permission. That she did look like Michelle Obama. I mean,
Yes.
a younger, slightly more attractive Michelle Obama. But yes, that was a good call by Mike on that one. I made a couple of notes that I wanted to talk about. So I think we brought up. Did we not bring up last week the two dudes that snuck into Texas A&M?
We did. Yes.
All right. So
Yeah.
I just looked. Did
Yes.
we talk about their names?
No. We just no. We kind of pushed that off for a later discussion.
Okay, so the story was that they were arrested on criminal trespassing. They just snuck into Kyle Field. So it wasn't like they weren't. I don't think they were going to a game. They were sneaking in as construction workers.
That's right. Yes.
So the
Yes.
classic thing is that they're fake construction credentials. One's name was Harry Ascrack. All right, which should be used somewhere. But the second one is maybe one of the best ever, Duncan McCockiner.
That's right. Yes. And
I mean,
he spelled Duncan. Yeah. Duncan like Duncan.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the
yeah,
dog's
there you go.
barking.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
I
laughing
didn't
at
notice that the last time. That's funny.
that. That's
I mean,
impressive, by the
it's
way.
not like today where I learned Jim's name in the pool. Which, by the way, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't come up with a fancy name for the college football
I couldn't
Capital
edit
One.
it.
But you have time. You change it whenever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
by the way, I've got an interesting one on that. So, Jim, I will not tell you what this is from. I had to look it up. So, Jim used New Bomb Turk, and I had never heard of it. So I figured it's got to be something, and it is. I'll let people look that one up. New Bomb Turk. It's hilarious, and it's also one of the most obscure movie whatever scene references that he could possibly have come up with.
Yeah, that's pretty obscure, right?
Yeah.
That's Robert Wall, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Not him. It's not him. Bull Durham, which I thought
Yeah.
was up until watching that clip his only other role that was any good. But
Yes.
that one is pretty funny.
Correct.
So we're driving Angela's dad's last Saturday, and I had to remind her that the bowl games are going on to not miss a couple of the games at night. So she logs in. She goes, "What the hell is Indiana snowplow?" No,
Do you want me to tell her?
no. So in an effort to be turning into a better direction, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to tell you. I go, it's a reference to Notre Dame because they're playing Indiana and it might snow. It's kind of making fun of Jim. I'm like, I'll change it. So what I tried to change it to, which is another story, but so I'll be brief on this one. Someone referenced someone I know that I work with and called him a wanker,
Oh yeah, classic. Yeah.
but not from
Traditional.
somebody that lives in this country. Usually
Yeah.
it's
It's
right. I
good.
mean, it's usually
Yeah.
right. So I thought that was
Yeah.
funny. So Angela, of course, had never heard. I'd heard it. I didn't exactly know what it technically was. I know now, but I tried to put not a wanker as my name in ESPN, and they wouldn't let me because it had an inappropriate word in it.
Huh. You know
So
what you should maybe you should try Duncan McCockiner.
I'm gonna try that. I should try. Actually, I should try that and see if they'll let me do it.
It's a good Irish name. It's an Irish kid.
Oh, that is great. That is funny. Um, because Province tried to enroll to get into the pool that Turd Ferguson is leading,
Yes.
and it was because we have those Royal Farms down here,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
referred to as Rofos, Royal Farms, Rofo, and we
Okay.
joke around all the time. In fact, I got him a chicken. That's they're known for their fried chicken. I got him a little stuffed chicken to give him when he comes over for something, whether it's after the freaking Christmas lights are done at zoo or whatever. And he tried to enter us Rofo Mofo, and it
They
wouldn't let
wouldn't
him
let
do it.
that?
He wouldn't let
Really?
him do it because of Mofo.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was, and that's what it was. It was Rofo Mofo, and they were like, no,
Wow.
inappropriate word. So I
Wow.
imagine taint would probably get red flagged.
You would think so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
Apparently though,
know
like
if
apparently finger bang is okay.
you can get that on a Steelers jersey, custom
You
made. I saw.
can, yes.
So the other one is Titsworth, who I think plays for Eastern Michigan.
Yes, that's
Titsworth
right.
would be all right. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Not tits up.
No, that's different.
Titsworth.
Yeah, tits
Yes.
up is bad. That's some
Yeah.
that's yeah, terrible.
So here's another one. With Chili Bowl is like 30 some days away, and we're gonna
Yeah.
go again this year.
Yep.
I wonder if we'll see Randy Pankratz out there.
Ooh,
If we
man,
do, if we do, I am going to try to get a picture with her and send it to you.
that will be something.
But
Yes.
I got to
Yep.
figure out a way. So her dad,
Yep.
I think, was a really good driver. So if I say, "Hey, I remember watching your dad race. I saw you out at the BC 39. I just want to get a picture."
Yeah.
Um, and see if she'll do it. I mean, that you remember that was rough. That was like a dude with longer hair. Like that
That's
was,
terrible.
yeah, yeah.
It's terrible.
I'd pop up. I might pop a picture up people if I can find one. But yeah. All right. Did you just mute yourself from sneezing, or did you just?
I did. I had to sneeze and I muted
So,
myself. Yeah.
just to point out that you were savvy enough to mute yourself from sneezing. Yet somebody that does this doesn't know how to unmute himself to actually talk in the broadcast. You were
He's
smart
a
enough to.
teacher. He uses that all the time
Yeah,
as a
I
tool.
guys right. Right. That's yeah. I know. I know.
That's something.
That's should be something. So I
Yep.
guess. Well, wait. So I wanted to get that. What was the other one? Hang on. I punched. Oh, the this site. I think it was Jim that sent the Joker's Wild Twitter thing where they were in the flatulence support group room, and it said,
Yes, he
"Please,
did.
please keep this door open."
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
reason why I wanted to bring that up is that would have been wise when we were going through Corvallis had you done that.
Well, I mean, because you shut and rolled up all the windows. That was
No,
the
that's not
issue.
what happened. If you notice, if you look in this picture, you'll
Rolled those
see
down.
everybody sitting at the table's got a bottle of Modelo in front of them. So
Good one.
that's got to be
Good
why.
one.
That's got to be
Yes.
it.
I'll tell you what, that's bad. You don't want to go near that stuff.
Oh, that's well, I no, I'm sure there was other things that
I'll tell you what,
caused it.
I drank two Modelo's. The next day, it smelled like you farting in that hotel bar in
Well,
Indianapolis.
that
That's
was
what it smelled
bad.
like.
I,
That
I
was
admit
bad.
that.
That was
That was not
really
good.
rough. Yeah.
The
Yep.
again, the look of disgust. Pretty much everybody on that one was a little bit that set me back a little bit there. Yeah, I didn't expect that. All right. So I want to talk about the college football playoffs, but by the way, first I want to mention the 16, I think, people that actually looked at this last week. I want to thank them for doing that with an average view time of somewhere around 2.5 minutes. So hopefully they stuck around a little bit longer. Um, did you? All right. So I want to talk about the playoff because we got those games this week.
Yes.
But this is so Tyler sent this to me today, and I can't believe this actually is true, but apparently it is. Did you hear about the Jets owner
I read I
refusing
read
the
it.
Jerry Judy trade?
Yeah, I read it, the article in The Athletic. I read the whole thing this morning. It's unbelievable.
So
Here's the other unbelievable part, by the way. Like the Jets, Woody Johnson would not comment for the article, but a Jets PR person did. And basically they said, yeah, that stuff's true, but there's nothing we can do. He's the owner. That's basically what they said.
okay, so it does prove the theory that we've had for probably 3 or 4 years now that just about any average Joe could run a team
Yeah.
when the Joneses, when the not the Mara family with the Giants.
Yes.
Now this like well, first of
Yeah.
all, they go from Leon Hess, who hired Rich Kotite,
Correct.
and
That's
now
right.
this guy. So the embarrassing thing about this is that I've said this, like this is how bad these guys are. Like not only do they cave to like the social media Twitter nerds and the fantasy nerds, but this guy admitted his Madden rating wasn't any good.
Yes.
That's how he evaluated Jerry Jeudy,
Yep.
his
Yep.
Madden rating. And I thought this has got to be a joke because he's older than me. There's no way this guy probably, I mean, he's got to be like 80 years old, right?
I don't think he's quite that old, but
Okay.
he's got
I,
teenage boys. That doesn't mean
so,
anything.
so
I
that's
can,
what it is. So these guys are,
yeah.
he's the owner of a team, and that's what he said. Nah, his Madden rating's not. I mean, that's embarrassing. Like, that's grounds for you just take the team away from him. That's how bad that
It's,
is.
yes, that's
And
correct.
and it's also true when we think about how these organizations that are run by these morons, why the Browns are always the Browns, why the Jets are always the Jets, why the Jags are what they are now, that these guys have no business running a team, but because they're millionaires, billionaires, they are. I mean, that's awful. That is an awful
Yeah.
thing. And
You
that's
know, it's the old, like I talk to the kids about this all the time. Just because you're smart at something doesn't mean you're smart at everything,
yeah.
right? Like you might be smart at running an investment firm. You might be
Hmm.
smart at running a pharmaceutical company.
Right.
Doesn't mean you're smart at running a football organization,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
I
It's
mean,
usually the guys that in that sport, to me, the guys that haven't, like John Gruden was a horrible player. I mean,
yeah,
he turned out to be a pretty good coach. He's a pretty
yes,
smart guy. Usually
yes.
those guys are the ones that I'd rather have because they've worked harder to get to where they are. They didn't
They,
just automatically, like
yeah,
Joe Montana can never be a coach. Michael
right.
Jordan couldn't be Bird, none of those guys.
Yeah,
They're not,
I agree. I think you and I have talked about this before, but I completely agree. Those guys like that, like Gruden, ones that weren't good at it, they had to learn
yeah,
how to play the game,
yeah,
and they had to learn technique, and they had to learn fundamentals. They weren't gifted with God-given talent,
yeah.
right? So yeah, I agree. So what if you learn it and you learned it, then you can coach it to somebody because you learned it yourself.
Can you imagine being, well, I guess they fired their general manager, which turned out that probably he was glad. But can you
Yeah.
imagine hearing that like in a meeting being like, "Hey, we're going to pass on this guy because his video game rating based on I don't know what isn't high enough for me to want him."
Yes.
He
By the way,
came from
Jerry
Alabama,
Judy.
right? He's had a pretty good he's decent receiver. I mean, these guys
So
to me,
they passed on him for this year, right? He went
yeah.
to Cleveland,
Yeah.
where Deshaun Watson, what would he throw? Like 12 passes,
Yeah.
right? That were completed. Then you had Jameis Winston,
Mhm.
Dorian Thompson Robinson, or whatever his
Yeah.
name is.
Yep.
He's had a career year, more than 1,000 yards
Yeah.
receiving.
Yeah. That's again,
Come
it's the
on.
like that's the
Yes.
Jets. That's what they
Yes.
do. That's
Yep.
exactly what they do. And
Yep.
also explains why he allowed this nonsense to go with Aaron Rodgers, where it's like pretty much whatever Aaron Rodgers wants.
Yes.
I'm going to
Correct.
get rid of the coach, the
Correct.
GM, all this. I'm going to get
Yes.
rid of all these
Yep.
guys. I just think
Yep.
when Tyler sent that, I'm like, I kind of knew it was true. I'm like, you got to be kidding
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I
That's
read
like the
that.
worst.
Oh,
I
it's
can't.
brutal.
I can't.
Brutal.
That's
And then
but
you
that's
wonder why, like, sometimes you get into a heater. Like I don't know if Andy Reid is like the greatest coach ever, but Andy Reid is somewhat stable,
yeah.
right? And that ownership kind of stays out of it. Lamar Hunt seems to
Hmm.
stay out of it and let Andy Reid coach football. And like, guess what? They're pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Kraft stayed out of Belichick's way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and Brady's way. So it's like, just hire good people and get out of their way. Let them do
They're
their job.
not. He's not. No, he's not.
Yeah,
Um, by the way, the Belichick thing. I
that's something.
I can't. I can't.
That is something.
I mean, I guess it's enough. I guess it's enough. I don't know. I don't. Yeah. First of all, I don't think that works because I think he's just done. I don't know at that age. Like Mac Brown was probably another beneficiary of tremendous talent at Texas. I
Yeah.
mean, his national title, the most recent, if the only one, was with Vince Young. It's like the Cam Newton titles. It's all the other ones. But he was 70, whatever. Now Belichick's older. I don't know how you get motivated and fired up, especially that miserable bastard, to now have to work hard and recruit and get all this stuff going. Like, I don't get it. And I don't even know if that's an upgrade. Like, why would you not go after somebody younger that's excited about being the head coach instead of this stunt? So I'm assuming get people to come out and watch games. I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, the other thing I keep going back to is without Tom Brady,
Yeah.
without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick's record is terrible. He's got a 449 winning percentage.
Yeah.
He is 83 and 104 without Tom Brady.
Yeah.
What,
Yep.
what's he going to do at North Carolina?
Right. Well,
Right.
you'll be able to pull in guys like Mitch Trubisky, talent like
Good one.
that. And I
Yes.
know it's a conference that, you can turn it around. Well, based on if you have the right transfer portal, probably turn it around and win. I mean, a group of five team won that was second this year at SMU immediately, but still, I don't know. I just don't. I don't
Indiana.
yeah.
Indiana went
Yeah.
from
But
four,
Signiti, though, like the thing with that is that he is he's a motivated guy to go from,
for
you know,
sure.
but
For
Belichick.
sure. But he turned over, what did he turn
Yeah.
over? Like 40 guys on the
Yeah. You,
roster
you
in
can
portal?
do it. It's just
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
and I know it's a lot more work. Like I guess that doesn't sound right,
Oh,
but the effort of having to recruit and do all this and now deal with a lot of NFL-ish stuff
yeah.
with these guys leaving. I don't quite understand that, but
Yep.
it's a throwaway football conference. Seriously, I mean, really,
I know.
nobody really expects much from there. It's a
Well,
basketball school. You regurgitate guys every 2 or 3 years. A coach. Wake Forest fired their guy again. I guess NC State just hangs on. So whatever they do, you know, it's
he went to the conference where he's most likely to be able to have
yeah,
success,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
he's not going to unseat Ohio State,
Right.
Penn State,
Right.
or
Yep.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Not going to unseat Texas,
Yep.
right? Not going to do anything in the SEC. This is a conference he could go to, and
Mhm.
mediocre is going to win the conference
Yeah.
year
And
after year.
that's really what it is. That's really
Yes,
what it is
correct,
because yeah,
correct.
I've always said that to me it was not even as good as the American was.
Yeah,
And now that SMU in one year was in the championship game out of the American, and they went as a group of
yeah,
they're basically still a group of five school, and they went to the finals and should have won had it not been for a short kickoff
that's
and
right.
then let them come down. So,
Yep,
I think the Army coach could easily coach over there, and teams from the
yeah,
American that are good. Memphis could probably win. So
yeah,
you're right. It's kind of like
yes.
going, yeah. It's speaking of that, so I don't know. Did you? So I we went to watch the Army Navy game. Angela's dad was in the Army, so we watched it. But the take I got from that was number one, Army was obviously a good group of five,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
completely got hammered in that game. I am anticipating the same type of effort by SMU and then Boise State, and I'll even throw Clemson in there because they're basically a group of five too. I'm anticipating that type of an effort where they just got freaking steamrolled. No, like there is a difference between the group of five schools and the Power Four now, and I'm afraid that Boise, even though they got a higher seed, I think they're going to get crushed unless they play SMU. That's my fear of that next round.
I think it's going to be interesting to see. Um, I guess out of all those, ironically, the one I have the least confidence in to win a game is Clemson of those three. Just
Oh,
because,
oh, yeah.
right? Like I don't think Dabo's a very good coach.
No,
Um, so I just feel like they're going to get boat
yeah,
raced in
yeah,
that. Um, SMU, and here's the other thing too. I feel like SMU and Boise State, they kind of have a chip on their shoulder a little bit, right? Like they
hmm
got something to prove. Sometimes a team can be dangerously competitive when that's
yeah,
the case. Clemson, I think, is just arrogant, and they're going to get their
mhm.
asses kicked. That's
Yeah,
what I think.
and the SMU thing is it's Penn State. It's
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
It's
Right.
just. It's my
Right.
asshole's going to shrink. James Franklin.
Yes.
So that is a
Correct.
possibility. Um,
Correct. Yes.
yeah. The other thing, I haven't. I obviously don't know the numbers, but I'm wondering how these games are doing as far as crowd. Like if they're going to sell out these games or not.
I don't know. I like so. Yeah, I follow all the local Indianapolis stuff, right? And it feels like there's a pretty good contingency going to Notre Dame. So I wouldn't be surprised if that game's a sellout.
Right, and that's close though, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're talking a
whereas
3 hour drive,
SMU.
right?
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't even know what SMU Stadium holds. I know a lot of people that are Penn State people around here are going, but that's like 10 people. But I'm interested to see how the crowds are for
yeah,
Texas.
yeah,
For
yeah,
because it's they're Clemson and even for the Ohio State, even Ohio State, it's Ohio State. They should draw well, but I'm interested to see how the crowd go. I mean, I want to watch them. I'm excited about
yeah.
that, but I just wonder what the crowd's going to be.
I wonder how much. The other thing I wonder too is how much will be subsidized by the students because it is break,
Yeah,
right? I'm sure. so I'm sure some students stuck around, of course, like
Yeah,
to go to the Penn State game. But yeah, that it is going to be interesting to see what that crowd is like.
yeah. So, what do you think anything? Do you think anything's going to be? We think that the favorites are going to win this. I mean, everybody's heavily favored is what the way I would word it.
Yeah,
When
they
it came
are.
to my ESPN ranking, I think I had Ohio State lower just because it's the 8-9, but everybody else, Notre Dame, um, Penn State, everybody, Texas, way up out of the 47 teams you could pick. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana won. I would be surprised if SMU won,
yeah, yeah,
right? But otherwise, I took all the. By the way, I still took Notre Dame,
yeah,
right? I still took all the favorites, but
yeah,
those two, when I looked at that, I'm like, well, I wouldn't be shocked if that happened, and I wouldn't be shocked if Franklin shit the bed,
yeah, because that's right. And then the other thing
right?
with the Notre Dame is I still not really sure. It's one of those deals where I'm not really sure how legitimate they are based on the fact that their schedule was pretty favorable,
Yeah.
and outside of winning the first week and then losing the next week, it's a schedule that they probably there could be 25 teams in the country that could have gone and won the rest of their games.
Yeah.
You know,
Listen, Notre Dame has a systemic problem, and the systemic problem is the academic standards.
yeah,
They just do. It's
yeah,
just a fact, right? And if they decide to change those, alter those, I won't say lower, if they decide to alter those for Division One athletics, then it'll be a different story. But I just don't think they can draw the same level of talent as a
yeah,
result.
yeah, and I that's probably another reason why they don't want to get into a conference
Yeah,
because they're competing against schools that don't necessarily have that.
that's right.
But yeah, I wouldn't know if like Northwestern standards in the Big Ten would be similar to that, or
Yeah.
but yeah, it's um. All right, so last week at work, I got. I'm on the same page with you on those. I was going to actually see if Jim wanted me to come over tomorrow night. He's got his garage set up since he's not mobile that much to watch that game with him. But I'm afraid because I think every time I've watched a Notre Dame game with him, they've lost. So yeah, and I know Angela won't go because she's rooting for Indiana. But um, yeah, okay. So last week at work, one of the things we got questions for our Christmas segments was, and I'm just putting you on the spot with this one, is if you could play a character in a Christmas movie, like what character would you want to play? So mine was easy. Well, I have two, but they were both easy. The first one took a second is Cousin Eddie. I think that if you had a chance to play Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation, that would be great. And the
Well,
other one is controversial, but having watched it last week, it's more of a Christmas movie than ever, and that would be to be John McClane and get a chance to kill terrorists in the
yeah,
Yakatomi
yeah.
Plaza.
The first thing that came to mind was Cousin Eddie, because I think that would be like that would be a fun part to play. You can have a lot of fun with
Yeah.
it. He's a goofball hillbilly. And then my second one that immediately popped to mind was Bad Santa, the Billy Bob Thornton
Oh,
role.
see, yeah. So I haven't seen that all the way through, but I watched a bunch of clips last
It's
week because that is
hilarious.
pretty funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's rough, but that is actually you're right because it's
Yeah.
like yeah, there's like no rules, just say
None.
whatever you feel like. Yes,
Correct. No
that would be
boundaries. The
yeah,
stuff he says in there is one, hilarious, and two, so off color. It's unbelievable.
yeah.
So
It is really good. It is really the
we
clips I
should
saw.
debate. We should debate if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, by the way.
Well, it is. I'll go to the grave with that one. Do you? Do
Wow.
you I will. So
I
Angela
don't have a
doesn't think
strong
so.
I don't have a strong opinion, but I when I think of Christmas movies, that does not pop into my head.
So it's becoming a little bit more. People are starting to come around to it a little bit more now. I think it's because, well, whatever. I mean, it's just because it just a few years ago, this is like was the debate that it shouldn't be. Now it checks the boxes because it takes place on Christmas Eve. But if you want, like we watched it last week because it's a good movie, but
It's a
it can
great
also be
movie.
watched in the summertime. It's not like it has to like
Yeah,
Home Alone out of
yeah,
season is a little weird,
yeah.
but there is a lot more references to Christmas in it than I even thought. So I wanted to get a shirt that says because there's a scene when he kills the first white guy that looks like
Yeah.
Dauber from
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach.
Good
All
one.
right, and he
Yes.
puts him in the
Yes.
elevator, and it says
Yes.
"Ho ho ho."
Yeah.
Now I have machine gun,
Yeah.
or I think
Yeah.
it's maybe the opposite. And I seen a shirt I would like to get it, but like I never really noticed that before. And there's a couple Merry Christmases in there. Anyhow, I think it is. Um,
I feel like that's trying to convince me that Scott Rowland's a Hall of Famer.
that's a good one. Yeah, or Ted Simmons.
A good one. He
Yeah.
is not a Hall. Ted Simmons and Harold Baines are not Hall of Famers,
Oh,
but we'll leave that's
they're
for
in the Hall
another
of Good. They're in
time.
the Hall of Good.
Yes, correct.
It's tough because, but like still, and then at the end, I think there's a Christmas reference. Like I don't know if they say Merry Christmas to the dad from Family Matters or
Yeah.
not, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
there's obviously and but like she's like, well, if that's the case, then you got to say Gremlins because Gremlins takes place during Christmas, but that's kind of a hybrid Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah.
But I think Die Hard, I would put that in there. It's
Okay.
a classic. It is a good
It's a
one.
great movie. Don't get
Yes.
I'm with you. It's a great movie.
Yeah. So those are my two characters. The
Okay.
cousin Eddie scene with him in that turtleneck, the mock
Yeah.
green under the
Yeah.
white, like that's just
Yeah.
I would like to
Classic.
find that as a Halloween costume next
Yeah.
year. Um,
Yeah.
hey, so but speaking of Halloween, did I tell you that me and Sharon and Jeff and Angela went as the killer clowns from outer space this year?
No, you did not tell me that.
Yeah, so it was Ava's idea. So Jeff's like, we should go we went to this place, Osgood's near Reading, and
Okay.
this is a Sunday. They have they had a Christmas or they had a Halloween party, but like we were like the only ones that dressed up, and it wasn't even close. Like we dressed full costume. I mean, mask, got everything, ordered them all. And Ava's idea. So Jeff's goes, we should go like, wherever four of us would be together. Like, I don't know if you would, even if you picked like the Scooby Doo characters, I said Kiss, but she's like, what about Killer Clowns? Because she really likes it, and so does Shane. So that's what
Okay.
we went as. They were killer. Well, no pun intended. They
Good
were
one.
they were full out. They were impressive. Yeah, we went as Killer Clowns. That's actually a Halloween movie, so
Yeah.
that's full legit there.
Yep. That is legit.
It's funny because outside of so Christmas Vacation, I usually try to watch at least twice, but there's really no other movie that you watch one time and like, it's okay. Like I don't, you know, I guess the Jim Carrey Grinch would be pretty funny because I would imagine playing that character and he just kind of ad libbed the whole damn thing. That wouldn't be bad
Yes.
either,
Yeah. I'm
except the
not the
fact that
world's
you got to
biggest
spend
fan of.
8 hours in makeup. That might be a
Yeah.
little tough.
Yeah, that would suck. That character would be okay. I'm not the world's biggest fan of him. Sometimes he's over the top. It's too much.
Yeah, well, he's a weirdo now. That's for
He
sure.
is. You're not kidding.
Hey, so the other thing they asked was like Christmas. I use Christmas memories as great Christmas presents when I was a kid, and pretty much any football related stuff out of the Sears catalog was classic. Whether it was the pajamas, I found the picture of the Viking, the shirt with the
Yeah.
name across the front and the
Yeah.
number, like
Yeah.
any of that stuff was gold. Any of their football stuff was great.
Yeah.
Get that magazine about August,
Yeah.
start like circling stuff in
Kirkland.
there. Yeah, you
Yep.
never, I mean,
Yeah.
shit, you didn't get all of it. Now
No.
you buy your kids every damn thing in there. There was some, but the football stuff, everyone, I still have my Tommy Kramer shirt that I
Oh,
got.
jeez. Wow.
That's is a little bit tough to fit into now, but I still have that. I managed to not completely tear it up to the point where, you know, I didn't fall on it in Denver or anything like that. So
Good one. Good one. So the best the most memorable thing I ever got when I was little, like and so I had to be like 7, 8 years old, like in that range,
yeah.
something like that, because we hadn't moved yet to the farm. We moved when I was almost the summer that I turned 9. And I liked the Washington Redskins.
Okay.
And so I got a Redskins football helmet from the Sears catalog. That thing was so cool, man. It was awesome. Had the two bars
Oh
around it,
yeah.
but it was like a legit helmet, man.
Yeah.
It was that's the most memorable Christmas present ever.
You don't still have it, do you?
I don't. I don't.
So I wish I had thought of all that old stuff like that. I remember you got that Bengals helmet in a garage
Yes.
sale, which
Yeah.
those things, by
Yeah.
the way, are impossible to find.
I know.
And any
Yeah.
mock mini helmet is a lot because
Yep.
they don't have too many of them.
I know.
But yeah, you think about some of the like those helmets that we had as kids were not that far off of what the NFL guys were wearing.
Yeah, I know. I
Remember when we
know.
went to the
Yeah,
Packers
yeah,
Hall of Fame and like,
yeah,
this is like a
yeah.
Sears catalog helmet.
Yes, it was. It just had a different face mask on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Angela's dad played high school football back when they just put in the face guard,
Oh,
and
geez. Oh
he's
my
got a
God.
helmet in his bar. And he's got some great stuff in there, just like she does. A lot of great old stuff. But this one is a leather helmet, and it's got a plastic face guard on it. It looks just like the face guard we had on those toy helmets back
Oh,
in the day.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like, so
Yeah.
when he started playing, so he's about 84, I think he is now, 85. The year after he got out of high school is when they put the face guard on.
Oh man, that's something. Wow.
Like, yeah, we can
Wow.
keep our eye on that for yeah, that's an awesome, that's amazing. But it's just I don't think anybody thinks like those helmets are basically plastic
Yes,
and
they
not
were.
even,
Yeah.
yet.
Molded
Well, they
plastic. Yeah.
the thing is, like, I don't want to say those guys didn't get hurt because they did, but I don't think the concussions were as rampant because they didn't want to hit with their helmet because you were barely wearing anything.
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again.
I thought maybe you, I thought maybe you rip one and you caught a
No,
hint of it and it was
no,
not
no. I
good.
thought I was gonna sneeze.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. When you're wearing that thing, it's not a fucking weapon.
Yeah. Well, that takes me into, I think that's the easiest way to fix these headshots is you don't wear helmets. I mean, people are think you're crazy, but you
Yeah.
won't hit with your head.
Yeah.
You're not
Yep.
gonna.
That's true.
I mean, I watch rugby. These guys have no helmets on, and they
I know.
don't. They
I know.
tackle, like, violently tackle, but
Yep.
they tackle. They
Yes.
learn how to tackle, and they don't hit each other's
Yep.
heads.
Yep.
So that's be the easiest solution. But you'd be like a barbarian if you suggested that.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh my God. You're not kidding. Instead,
Did
we
you
got to put
see?
a guardian cap on.
Well, that. Oh, you're right. Right. Yes. That. Yeah. They got to wear that, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous. It looks.
Yeah.
It,
Stupid.
so I don't. Okay, so here's the thing: if my son, if Shane played football in high school, and he needed to wear one of those, like let's say he needed to, which I don't know what it'd be a concussion, he shouldn't be playing. Like if you
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to wear one, if
Yeah.
you need to wear one,
Yeah.
you should not
Yeah.
be playing.
Yeah.
And if
I
you're
agree.
wearing one because you think it looks cool, then you shouldn't be playing
Yes.
because it
Yeah.
looks stupid. And I don't. I said we did a high school game
Yeah.
this year, and the coach was telling me that so he's got a new guy playing in week 11 and he's a quarterback. He runs a little bit more. He goes, yeah, that's why he wears the guardian cap.
Uh,
Well, if he needs to wear that because of his head, he shouldn't be playing, or he
I,
shouldn't
I
be
I
like
agree.
that. Doesn't justify it. So
I
I kind of
completely
let
agree.
that go because I got a big issue with those stupid things. Do they have to call them the commanders caps now, or they can still call them guardian caps, right? Because not that's not offensive. No, that's right.
Good
It's not.
one.
It's
Good
not an
one. Yeah,
Indians
they
cap.
can't call them Indian caps. They got
Indian
to call them
caps. Yeah.
guardian caps.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you see that picture I sent you of John Daly in a golf cart?
Yeah, that's really funny.
That's funny. He
That's
looks like Santa Claus.
he looks terrible.
He does look pretty bad. I'm looking at
He's
that now.
rivaled, of people that have gone downhill in terms of looks, John
Yeah.
Daly and David Letterman. Letterman's got that big gray
Yeah.
beard. What are
Yeah.
you doing? What are you doing? Nobody
Well,
thinks that looks good.
that is actually surprising because it's David Letterman,
Yeah.
but he might be a little out of it. Kooky. John Daly, I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, this guy,
Yes.
he would have
Correct.
looked like that if he could have younger, but he just wasn't as fat yet. So
Yes.
that's an
Yep.
impressive shot.
Yep.
This Santa Claus on his sled. Hey, this is completely out of the blue that I've had a debate with people. Do you think Peter Pan is gay? Like the character Peter Pan, I just assumed that like, he was gay. Like that's not
Is there a debate about this?
all
Like
right.
I
So
just
do you agree
Yeah,
with me
of
then?
course. Of
All right.
course. I
So
didn't think it was up for debate even.
right. So this came up a couple years ago, I think. I don't know. I don't know how we brought it up, but it was one of those family discussions that we have. And I'm like, well, yeah, he's gay. And they're like, of course, all, Angela, Ava, they're like, no, he's not. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, that's what I just assumed. That's like, you would actually make reference to the guy being like a little like Peter Pan. If I know I've done that.
Yeah.
So they're
I would
like, well,
be I
no,
would
he
be
went out,
shocked
he
to
was
find
with
out.
Wendy,
I
but
would
he
be shocked
wasn't
to
with
find out
Wendy.
he
He
went.
also had a bunch of
Yeah.
Lost Boys.
Yes. Correct.
So he was kind of the
Correct.
precursor to Michael Jackson, really, if you think about it, because he had a bunch of Lost Boys too in there. I don't know. I just assumed.
Okay.
I wanted what
I don't know if he's the precursor to Michael Jackson,
Okay, I just,
but I do think he was gay.
yeah,
Yes.
okay. So
Not that
it's
there's
just,
anything
well,
wrong with that.
he yes. I just assumed that was one of the topics I wanted to bring up because I didn't even think there was any question. So
I didn't
that's
either. I thought that was just common
it was
knowledge.
common knowledge. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to bring that up at the Super Bowl maybe put it on the square because
Yeah. Have
that's
to
that.
survey that one.
Yeah, the
Run
ladies the
survey
ladies don't think
it.
uh,
Yeah.
that he was gay, and I just thought that was. I
Wow.
know I know at some point it was compared like I think of Peter Pan over there. You know,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Yeah. Usually my dad, I'll credit my dad with
Mm.
this. Usually that was accompanied by Twinkle Toes.
Yeah, there you
That was
go.
also a reference, if you
Good
remember
one. That
that.
is a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see any twinkle toes and long dong slivers?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Those are that's still a classic. So we were oh yeah, I wanted to so Shane was here for Thanksgiving weekend and we had to get a there's a the in 25th Street there used to be a long dong slivers there, but you can
Yes. Oh
you can
yeah.
still tell.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
said, Shane, I go over because they were staying in the hotel behind like back there on 25th Street. I said, hey, one of the days just sneak out, get a picture and send it to Mike.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue, like just random. He'll lose it.
You got to get the picture pointing at it like
You got
that.
oh yeah, you got to just
Yeah.
point at it.
Got to
Yes, you got to do
point. Yeah.
that. I found a couple of those. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be vague on this one. Speaking of pictures, I wanted to say
Uh-oh.
this last week. So, do you remember? I'll be real vague, but you'll get it. Do you remember at Indy on that Saturday,
Yes.
the people sitting next to us?
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
that
Yeah.
resurfaced
What
somewhere.
the picture did?
That picture did. So I
Uh-oh.
gotta, yeah,
Uh-oh.
I want to
You want to you
resurface.
want to
I don't know where and what iCloud or what, but it resurfaced. So anyhow,
yeah,
yeah,
you want to delete that.
yeah, it was. It
Yeah.
was before that bar was all fired. After that bar was all fired up, when Dion was going to beat USC, and then everybody cleared out of there.
Yeah, that was
Cleared out of
something.
there like somebody ripped one in Indy.
Good one.
Yeah,
Good one. Then it lit back up around what, like 11 o'clock or
yeah,
something?
that was
Holy
something.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
yeah, that was something. Anyhow, I wanted to bring that up. That somehow resurfaced. All right, what you got? Anything you wanted to? I wanted to talk about the playoffs. I wanted to wait a week, but you got anything?
I will throw one thing at you that will surprise you in terms of a topic. You know what NFL coach I think is actually a pretty good coach and gets zero credit for being a pretty good coach?
Well, is this going to be close to home for you? Like, is it going to be?
It's
It's
not the
not Nick
Colts.
Sirianni because that moron
No,
sucks.
no.
All right, I'm gonna let. I don't.
Todd Bowles of the Buccaneers.
That's interesting.
He's actually done a pretty, if you look, he's done a pretty good job with Tampa Bay. After
Yeah,
Brady left,
yeah,
he's managed to keep them as a playoff team. He's won the South. He's probably going to win it again this year.
yeah,
He's done a pretty good job
yeah.
as
Because
a
they
football
they
coach.
they beat the Eagles last year, right? Yeah, and then they
Yep,
played Detroit outdoors, and they had to
yep.
deal with that
Good
weather.
one.
Yeah,
Good one. Yeah.
true. They
Well,
did.
I mean, listen, you can't come from Tampa Bay to Detroit and not be
No.
affected by the weather.
By the way, how he handled that probably gives him Coach of the Year last year because
Correct. That
that
was
was
classic.
hilarious.
Holy
Yeah, we
shit.
we
That was
don't want.
something. Yeah.
I mean, even though Nicole didn't know that they played.
That's something.
Yeah,
It's
you
just my
know,
little
I
surprise thing of the day that I was watching an NFL show, and I'm like, you know what? That guy's actually a half decent coach. I mean, he's better
yeah.
than Mike McDaniel's,
Well,
right?
yeah. That kind of fell off the
Right?
cliff pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
way off the cliff.
yeah. With a lot of with him the same, pretty much the same roster. Heck, they
Yeah.
did better last year with Tua getting hurt late in the season, right? That was
Yes.
2 years ago.
Correct.
Yeah, that
Correct.
was
Yep.
yeah. He's. I wonder if these guys sometimes just get like too nutty. Like the offensive guys they got a screw loose because they're always thinking and creating, and you wonder with him if it's gone a little bit too much, or he started to kind of read his own clippings about how great he was as a coach, how wise he is as an
Yeah.
offensive mind.
Yes.
Yeah, when you show up looking like that this year, pretty much, yeah, I think a
Brother.
lot of money coming in and everything. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Yep. When he was in jeans and sneakers, he was a much better coach.
yeah,
Now he's wearing a man purse and driving a
Yeah.
Bentley. It's like, dude,
Yes, yeah.
come on.
Yeah, you got a little twinkle toes going on there. That's
Yes,
what he's
he
got
would
there.
be a twinkle toe. That's correct. Yeah.
So the Vikings played Monday night, and I watched. I have not. I know this is the truth. It's probably been almost 10 years where I've actually watched a Monday night game because I just don't like watching them by themselves. Because we
Yeah.
watch the games on Sundays,
There are
watch
two
Red
on
Zone.
them. Yeah, you can
Right.
go
So
back
we
and
watched
forth.
the Vikings game. I watched the whole second half. I
Yeah.
started watching right at the end of the second quarter, whole second half. So that's the first one of the Joe Buck, the current Joe Buck Troy Aikman combination.
Okay.
And Aikman, I think, I don't even know if he knows who's playing when he gets there. Like that's how little he's prepared. Because again, he's cashed it in. I mean, Romo's losing it,
Yeah.
but I don't think he even knows who's playing because the comments are just the generic football stuff. And he's really
Yeah.
not providing much analysis compared to some of the guys today. But like they're just so I don't. And then the game was horrible. I think they've had it because they're
That game
complaining
was
about how
awful.
bad it is, how bad the Bears are. They spent
Ah,
a good portion of it discussing how bad the Bears are and what the Bears have to do, and then they apologize for it at the end because they talk so much. And I'm like, this is why I can't watch a single game because I have to listen to this nonsense.
yeah, it was terrible. And then I flipped over. The only thing worse, by the way, was the other game that was on at the same time.
Oh, I
The
saw the
Falcons
score.
and
Yeah,
Raiders.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know
That
what's
game
like?
was
So
awful.
remember in the beginning of the year we said they need 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, here's what you need to do. You need to cut the first half, the first 4 games, and the last 4 games off, and whatever that comes out to, that's how many games you play.
Yeah.
Because the first 4 games are brutal because nobody's ready.
Correct.
Now nobody gives a shit. Nobody's
Yes.
available. You got quarterbacks
Yep.
multiple guys I've never even heard of. Derek
Yep.
Carr, who is the other version of Kirk Cousins, stealing money, he
Yes.
can't play. So
Yes.
Rattler comes in. He's horrible. There's some names. Oh, Tim Boyle, I think, was the Giants
And
quarterback. I don't
he,
even know who the
yes,
hell
Tim
that is.
Boyle. Yes, I saw
Right.
Tim Boyle this week.
So,
I
like,
know.
it's what's
I
happening
know.
is the teams that are out of it are now so bad. Like the
Yes.
Raiders, I don't know how well, there's another family, by the way, that completely went off the rails when Al Davis got out. They have
Yep.
no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, none.
But
Zero.
so I saw the score. Like, I don't know how you. So the last 4 weeks of the season, these teams that are out of it, Jacksonville is impossible to watch. The
Yes.
Giants are terrible.
Yes.
And then the Raiders, like I saw that score, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And that's
Yes.
Atlanta, who's going to be a playoff team, and they're terrible too. But that's because somebody's got to make it.
Yep. Correct.
It's like you got
Correct.
either something's not right, whether they need to practice, which they don't, and then there's too many games. There's too many
Yes.
games because these teams that are eliminated are the Giants played the Saints 2 weeks ago, and the tickets to go see the game were $29.
Yeah.
You could have sat like pretty good lower level anywhere, $29 to see an
Yep.
NFL game at a stadium where like when Shane was 7, 8 years old, you were on a waiting list for
Yes.
season tickets there.
Yeah.
When Jim coached with me and Joey was 6, he put him on the waiting list, hoping that maybe when Joey's 30, he can get on it because it was like 2,500 people deep. Hell, but he was like 8 years old and he could get on it. They were so bad so fast. I mean, that's unreal. That's and the fact that Tommy Cutlets
Good one.
is
Yeah.
playing and then gets hurt. I don't know what ailment they have, but I would be doing some sort of test. Like, I'm sorry, I just think Derek Carr. I mean, he's Kirk Cousins before Kirk Cousins, but he's
Yeah.
worse
Yeah.
because at least
That's right.
Cousins went to playoffs. Derek Carr
Yeah.
was, oh my god,
Yep.
he's hurt now. He can't play.
Yep. Hey, how about that guy, Mark Davis, the Raiders owner?
Mm,
That guy's a billionaire,
yeah.
inherited all that money in that team, and he can't find any place to get a good haircut.
Yes. Yes.
It literally looks like you and like I did a better job
Yeah.
giving you a
No,
mohawk.
that's an insult to you if you compared
Yes,
your mohawk to his haircut.
yes,
No,
yes,
you
it is.
you're whoever the
Yes,
famous whatever Peter Pan hairstylist is out there, you are
yes,
equivalent to that, maybe even better.
yes,
No, and you got to
yes.
think that somebody got to because like when you see him, you're like, oh my god, like what?
I
Like it's on purpose.
I know.
Like somebody's not saying to him, like come on. I
Right.
just there's no way he's married or dating anybody because he looks like that.
Oh, he's got a young girlfriend.
Is she younger than Belichick's girlfriend?
No, she's a little bit older than that, but like she's not age appropriate for
Are you
him.
looking this up?
Yeah, I am. I am. Hold on, I'm looking it
Well,
up here.
she's not age appropriate.
She's not.
Oh,
She's
you're
not.
right with that though. He looks hideous. I mean, that's frightening. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
things
brutal.
about that upper area that a guy that much has that much money should do something about.
So
And I don't.
he's 69
I was
and
gonna.
she is 26.
Oh yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's not. Wow. Gee, I wonder
Yeah.
what that is that interests her in that.
Gee, I wonder.
Yeah.
Wonder what it is. Huh.
Yeah,
Let me think.
that's so
Well,
I came to
she's
this
got a
realization last week. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm going to try to word this the best way. There is no, and I get this is going to be a silly comment from a dude saying it, but like when you're older, like I know that there's obviously an attraction, but like you want to have somebody you can relate to. Like you have a
yeah.
friend that you're with, right? You can relate to another female, has the same interests, same things. There's
Yes.
no way a guy 69 has anything relatable to talk about with a 26-year-old. And
No.
he's so hideous that other thing can't be constantly on her mind because he's hideous. It's same with Belichick. Like how do you even communicate? Like you don't even know. Like, there's no reference you can make. Like I remember that one. No, they
Yeah.
nothing.
Yep.
Not to mention that Belichick's girlfriend I think is still in college. So
I could not be
yeah,
more in agreement with you.
I
It's
mean,
like,
you know why they're doing that because of the
yes,
money, but
yes,
geez, you got
correct.
to really take one for the team for quite a
What do
while to
you
get that
do
to work out.
like the other 23 hours and 58 minutes of the day? What do you do? Right? What do you fucking talk about? Because listen, like, what are you stretching this out? 5 minutes with that? Like, right? I mean, come on. You're an old man. She's 26.
And
There's
turn
like
the
five
light off. I
minutes
don't want to
max.
see your bowl haircut. I tell you that.
Yeah. Like, come on. What do you
That's
I just don't get it. Like
yeah,
none of my like you and I, we have a cultural level set on humor,
yeah,
right? It's
yes,
largely based on Seinfeld
yeah,
and other stuff. Like
yes.
they don't even know what she doesn't even know what
No,
that is. She's 24. She doesn't know what Seinfeld is.
that the reason why I brought this up was I'm doing these interview questions, and the girl asking me is one of our
Yeah.
newer. She's like 24, 25, and when
Yeah.
I said cousin Eddie and started talking,
Yeah.
I could see because I'm supposed to be looking at her.
Yeah.
She's like, so I said, you have no idea what I'm talking about. At the end,
Yeah.
she's like, no,
None.
I've never
Zero.
seen the movie.
Yeah. Correct.
I mean,
Correct.
I
Yeah.
saw The Wizard of Oz when I was a kid, and it was made in the 30s. All
Yes.
right. It
I'm
wasn't
with
like I
you.
was born then. My dad was like
Correct.
5 years old when
Correct.
that movie came out. I
Correct.
still saw it, but no, I never
Yes.
saw that movie. What the hell
Yep.
is wrong with you? But I'm
Yes.
supposed to
Yeah.
have that's out. That's out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yep.
I mean, that's yeah,
By the way, if you run into somebody, that's a parental failure. The fact that her parents never showed her Christmas vacation,
yeah, or yeah,
great. That's on the parents. Come
and
on.
the sign, yeah, that's right. It's bad parenting, and the
Yeah.
Seinfeld thing
Back.
is another.
Same
That's a
thing.
mandatory. Got to do
Yes.
it. Got to do
Yes.
it.
I know.
Yeah. So I was just looking at some of the Super Bowl stuff. Another name I should try to incorporate into the bowls is Howie Snatch.
Good
I
one.
think Howie
Yes.
was with those two dudes,
Yes.
but he lost his credential. His
Yes.
other credential just said
Yes.
McLovin on it,
Yeah.
and that's yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh, now I know where Throat Goat came from. That was another picture that we had on there. That woman had a Patriots jersey, said Throat Goat on the back of
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
but she
Yeah.
looked like a monster. Like that's not.
That's you know what a throat goat is, right?
Well, I'm guessing I know what it is.
Yeah, it's a little,
Yeah,
little
I figured out. Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Thanks for that. Yeah, yeah, that's good. I didn't know, so thank you.
So for our listener that doesn't have the video part, you might want to narrate that.
I'm not gonna because the only way you can do it is a video. Yeah, a little something something there. That was what that was. So, did I tell you the flying teabag story last week?
No.
So we're watching. It was the Lions game about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I didn't say this, which was because I. So my friend Darren, who does wrestling with me, he's there watching. And the Lions, I think it was that Amon St. Brown or the guy that's got like 8 first names,
Yeah, yeah.
Rahman, Jean, and something,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
he jumps. So the defender's coming. What is it? It's like four names, isn't there?
Amon-Ra St. Brown,
There you go.
right?
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, I was close. So I think it was him. So a defender's coming. He's running toward the end zone. So he jumps up and he sticks his crotch in the guy's face and then
Yeah.
scores a touchdown. So Darren goes, "That's a flying teabag,"
That's a
and I'm
good
like,
one.
"Oh,
Wow.
that is great."
That's
Bonfanti, of course, is there. She lost it, so I'm like,
that's
I'm writing
really
it
good.
down.
Yeah,
So
that's classic.
he's like, well, no, I go, is that official? He goes, I don't know. It looks like a flying tea bag. So I put that
Yeah.
on the card. Then of
That's
course Angela thought I said it.
yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Darren said it, but that's what a flying tea bag is.
That's the thing to do now, right? Is jump. You jump
Yeah.
over guys. That's the thing
And
you do.
it was
So yeah.
completely unnecessary. Like he did
Yeah.
it. If I could
Oh,
ever
they
find
all
the
are.
clip,
Yeah.
he did
Yeah.
it just to like stick his balls in the guy's
Yeah.
face because there
Yes.
was
Correct.
no, yeah, there was
Correct.
nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. I got to add. I don't think I had. Oh, yeah. What Jim said last week about a rope. That was.
That was something.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I got that. I'm not gonna. That was. Yeah, I got to. I'm gonna try. I think I'm gonna try Howie Filter Snatch. Switch my name around to that one and do it. What do you? So
We're not
do
going to
you
run out of
think?
time, and this is going to quit again, is it?
No, I fixed that last week.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right.
So I have one more thing. Do you think there's a possibility coming from a fan of not a fan of either one of these teams that the Bills could play the Vikings in the Super Bowl? Do you think it's legitimate with where they currently are with what's that, 3 games to go?
Well, I think the Bills could be in the Super Bowl. I think
Yeah.
that's legit, right? Assuming they stay at the level of health that they're
Yep.
at.
Yep.
I think they're the best team in the AFC right now. Even though Kansas City's got a better record, I think Buffalo's a better
Well,
team.
they beat them, right?
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
did. They did. Minnesota could get there. I think I think they're gonna have to beat the Eagles along the way.
Yeah. So the way they were wording this, so Minnesota and Detroit do not lose over the next couple weeks
Yeah.
and play each other the final week of the season.
Yeah.
The winner will be the division winner,
Yeah.
and most likely, based on according to the
Get a
numbers,
bye,
strength of
right?
schedule, will be the number one seed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might actually want to be the two, other than having to play the championship game in Philly, because if
Yeah.
you draw the one, you're going to end up playing Detroit in the semifinals
Yeah.
because the Lions or vice versa, the
Yeah. Yeah.
Vikings would move to the five.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're the 2 seed, you're playing the 7, which could be the freaking Falcons or the Buccaneers or the
Yeah.
Cardinals,
Yeah.
and then you're going to play the 3, or you're going to play the 2-3, which is also going to potentially be either a wild card, maybe the Packers, or maybe the Western Division winner or the South. So I just thought maybe the 2 is better, but I just wonder. I of course can't ever. They brought up at the end of the game the Vikings haven't been this good since '98 when freaking Gary Anderson shanked that
Yes, he
Vanderjagt
did
that
after
kick
going 15
into
and
this.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's just
here's
hard for me to imagine them not
by
at
the
some
way,
point Viking it up. I think it's this week. I think they lose to Seattle because
I,
it's
I, I
every year in their existence, at least since I was old enough to watch regular season games, they've blown it. The year that the Saints put the bounty on them, they lost to
yes, yeah,
Carolina, who had 4
yeah,
wins.
yeah,
Except for the year that they lost to Atlanta and just took them longer. So
yeah.
I think it's this week against Seattle. It'll be a road game, and I think they'll shit it up.
I thought it was Detroit until both Anzalone and Hutchinson were hurt.
Yeah.
And now Detroit, that defense is in trouble right now. They
Hmm.
got a lot of guys hurt. Montgomery's going to be out for the season. So I think that moves the Vikings and the Eagles in my opinion, right now, they're the top two. And Philly's tough, Uh, Saquon Barkley's a machine, right? He's
Yeah.
he's a tough guy to stop, and they do have enough weapons. AJ Brown and Devontae
Hmm.
Smith are good, so they're formidable.
The roster is probably the best. The problem is the
Yeah,
coach is a complete moron,
that's
which
it.
makes it
That's it.
even harder to take them
Yeah,
even getting there because he is
yeah,
like it was different when when Doug Peterson like I didn't you don't like the Eagles because of the nonsense around here, but
yeah,
he wasn't a dick. This guy is the
yeah,
most hated piece of shit
yeah,
you
yeah,
could possibly
yeah,
imagine. So it makes it even
yeah.
worse.
I
But
think
I
it's
don't
interesting.
know if they can beat Buffalo or Kansas City,
Like,
whichever
I,
one I think gets out on the.
I wouldn't be super confident in Sam Darnold,
Yeah.
but then
Yes.
I'm completely not confident in Nick Sirianni. He's a
Hmm.
goofball, right?
Yeah.
He's going to make mistakes.
Yep.
So, like, which one evens out the other one the most? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well, all right. We can wrap this up. So next week, same thing. We'll try to do this again somewhat consistently. We can talk about the playoff games. Have you picked all your games and ranked them in that 47 Capital One
I
Bowl? Because
I did, but I might go. I'm planning to go back and
yeah,
do a refresh on it.
I
So
went back today and have readjusted because the
yeah,
issue is I want to pick the next round, but I
yeah,
want to wait till they're done
me
because
too.
I'm not locked
Me
in.
too.
I
I
don't because
know.
I don't know. Like I would take
Yeah,
Boise State over SMU, but maybe not Boise State over Penn State and that kind of
I
thing.
know.
So yeah, just
I
I don't
know.
know. It's been kind
I
of
was going
fun.
to
I
do the
haven't
same
watched a
thing.
lot of the bowl games yet. I think I
Yeah.
got this one. How about so? By the way, so you know, like I've used the Odd Shark
Yeah.
since last year in
Yeah.
September, and
Yeah.
I don't like to tell Angela what I do because I don't want to give away a secret. Basically,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm telling you
I know.
how. I think you know how because you pretty much told me how to pick those games, and that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
formula that I use because it's impossible. I don't know how I did this before with 47 games, but now
Yeah.
it's a little easier.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is. I think it was Army that was supposed to play Marshall, and Marshall tapped out.
Yes.
So the
Correct.
Army money
Correct.
line went from like 300 or something to like 800, like -8. Like it went like it
Wow.
jumped from -300 to -800. It
Wow.
became one of the higher ones of all of them because of the team getting a late start. La
Yeah.
Tech, they're not
Yeah.
very good. So
Yeah.
it's and actually Navy, who plays Oklahoma, got a little closer now after beating Army last week. Even
Yeah.
though if you're Oklahoma and you lose to Navy after beating Alabama this year, they shouldn't play bowl games anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they shouldn't.
Correct.
But
Correct.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So we'll talk about that next week and some more NFL stuff, and hopefully
All
Jim's
right.
available. So,
Okay.
all right, Michael, see you next week.
All right. See you
Oh,
later.
and thanks everybody. There's 16 people. Let's see if we can get it to 20 this week. Thank you. Oh, and did you notice that the Winnebago we use looks a lot like Cousin Eddie's, except it doesn't have shit all over the
Yeah.
side?
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
watch that
That's
movie
right.
again. Still a classic. Is that your favorite Christmas movie?
Probably my favorite. Yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Elf is pretty good. There's scenes of Elf, like when he jumps into the tree and he belches at the table.
Yeah.
But the Christmas Vacation is just gold.
It's classic.
Yeah.
It's
So,
great.
all right. I'll see you next week.
Okay. See you.